Hello my dear students, myself Nivya KM, Assistant Professor of Department of Business Management, St. Albert's College, Ernakulam. Today we are going to discuss about the topic underwriting of shares. Let's see what is underwriting of shares. First one is introduction about and underwriting of shares. In case of public limited companies, the minimum subscription must be received in order to get certificate of commencement of business. It is important for every public limited companies that if the company is offering shares to the public, the minimum subscription should be received from the public. Or else they will not get the certificate of commencement of business. So it is mandatory that the minimum subscription should be received from the public for every new organizations. Then only they will get the certificate of commencement of business. Companies, in order to ensure minimum subscriptions, resort to underwriting. In some cases, the companies will not get this minimum subscriptions. So they will go for another method or process which is known as underwriting of shares. In this, the companies what the companies doing, like the companies will adopt a method underwriting of shares. So the company will appoint some underwriters. So the underwriters will subscribe those shares which are the shares which is not subscribed by the public, and the underwriters will help the company to meet the minimum subscription of shares. So the company will get the certificate of commencement of business. Meaning, underwriting is an agreement entered into by a company with a financial agency or an individual or partnership firm in order to ensure that if the public will not subscribe the entire issue of shares or debentures made by the company, the underwriters will do the same, which I have already discussed with you, that if the public will not subscribe the shares or debentures which is issued by the company, the underwriter will subscribe those balance shares or debentures which is not subscribed by the public. So it is an agreement between the company and the underwriter. Underwriter may be a person or maybe an individual or a financial agency or a partnership firm. So let's discuss about the features of underwriting. Underwriting is a type of guarantee legally enforceable. It is actually guarantee which is enforceable by law. So it has a legal validity. It is an agreement between the company and the underwriters, which I already discussed with you, that it is an agreement between the company and the underwriter. Underwriter may be a person or individual or a company or a partnership firm or a financial agency. The underwriters have to take up the shares or debentures which may not be subscribed by the public. The underwriters are responsible to take the balance shares or debentures which is not subscribed by the public. The consideration for the underwriting is underwriting commission. The underwriters will get in return underwriting commission for subscribing these balance shares or debentures of the company. So the company will give a underwriting commission to that particular underwriters. Actually, it is a responsibility of every company that they should appoint an underwriter. In case the public does not subscribe the maximum shares, the minimum shares, then it is the burden of that company that they will not get the certificate of commencement. So they have to appoint underwriters. So it is a better option for every company. And if the public response to the issue of company is poor, the underwriters have to take up the shares or debentures as per the terms of underwriting contract. The company will make an underwriting contract. The company and the underwriters will make an underwriting contract. So, if the public subscription is poor, which is not met up to that point, the subscription is not met up to that point, the underwriters will take up the balance of shares or debentures on the basis of that underwriting contract. The next one is topic is sub-underwriter. So, let's see what is sub-underwriter, who are sub-underwriters. An underwriter may appoint one or more sub-underwriters who underwrite the shares of debentures of a company for some commission. The underwriter has the authority to appoint some or one or more sub-underwriters for subscribing that shares of debentures of a company. The sub-underwriter have no personal relationship with the company. They have the relationship with only with that particular underwriter. So they have no contract or no relationship with the company. They have the contract or agreement with that underwriter. They are responsible to the underwriter alone. They are not responsible to public. They are not responsible to the company. They are responsible only to that underwriter, because underwriters appoints the sub-underwriters. Sub-underwriting is the process in which an underwriter transfers a portion of risk of underwriting to some other persons called sub-underwriters. It is basically done by the underwriters, because if they are not willing to take the majority of the risk, then they will appoint sub-underwriters, and the sub-underwriters have to take the risk, that particular portion of risk which is given by that underwriters. Next is marked applications, unmarked applications for underwriting application. So these are three topics. Let's see what is marked applications, what is unmarked applications. First one is marked applications. Application forms for the shares or debentures received by the company bearing the official stamp of the underwriter is called marked applications. Marked applications means applications form which have official stamp of the underwriters, means which have marked as these applications are underwritten by so-and-so company, so-and-so person, like ABC. So it has a mark. So it has an official stamp, so it is known as marked applications. They are originally issued to public by the underwriter or his agent. They are directly issued to the public by an underwriter or agent. The marked applications are deemed to be received through the underwriters even if they are directly submitted by the applicant to the company. The marked application should be received only through underwriters. The marked applications cannot give directly to the company. The public cannot give the marked applications directly to the company. They have to give only through the underwriters. The underwriters has responsible to give that applications to the company. So what is a marked application? Marked applications which applications which have official stamp of the underwriters. Next one is unmarked applications. The application forms of shares or debentures received by the company without bearing the official stamp. So in marked applications, there have the official stamp of the underwriters, and in unmarked applications, they do not have any official stamps. Without the applications, without bearing the official stamp of underwriters is known as unmarked applications. They are originally issued by the company to the public directly. They are issued by the company to the public directly. They do not appoint any underwriters. They are usually termed as direct applications because there were no middlemen between the public and the company. The company will directly issue that applications to the public. So they do not have any middlemen, so they are termed as direct applications. The next one is SEBI guidelines regarding underwriting. So there are some guidelines which offer SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, which says some guidelines for underwriting. So let's see what are the some guidelines regarding underwriting which is set by the SEBI. First one is the issuing company has to obtain prior permission from the SEBI. The issuing company must obtain permission for appointing an underwriter. So the company must obtain permission from the SEBI for appointing an underwriter. The underwriting of shares or debentures is optional and not mandatory. It is optional actually. If the company knows that yes, the whole of the shares will issued by the will be subscribed by the public. If the company is confident about it, then they cannot. They are not actually they cannot adopt an underwriting method. It is not mandatory for them to adopt an underwriting method. So it is actually not mandatory. It is optional. The lead merchant banker must take consent of the underwriter in writing before recording the same to the offer document. So the merchant banker should obtain the consent first in writing. Then only it can make to an offer document for underwriting of shares. The lead merchant banker must see that the relevant details of the underwriter are recorded in offer document. So the merchant banker should properly ensure that the relevant details like underwriting commissions, the portion of risk, like that should be clearly mentioned in the offer document. So Today we discussed about what is underwriting and what are sub underwriters and some features of underwriting, and what is market application, unmarked applications, and SEBI guidelines regarding underwriting. So that's up to the point. Thank you students.